Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a puzzle that's playing out in the financial markets. We're going to use a really specific set of tools, the Navarrete method, to try and figure out what might be just around the corner for the Dow Jones. Have you felt this? It's this weird disconnect, right? You look at the news, and the stock market seems like it's having the party of a lifetime, hitting these incredible new highs. But then you look at your own wallet or what's happening on your street, and it feels totally different. So, what's going on here? All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to follow the analysis of financial educator Jesús Navarrete step by step to see how his method makes sense of all this conflicting information. Let's get into it. First things first, let's really define the central mystery here, which is this massive gap between what the stock market is doing and what the real economy feels like. This is the heart of the problem, isn't it? It feels like we're living in two different worlds. So in this explainer, we're going to use Navarrete's specific technical analysis of the Dow Jones as our lens to see exactly how he reads these signals and the unique tools he uses to navigate this mess. So how can you tell when the market's entire mood is about to shift? Well, according to this analysis, it all starts when a really important long-running pattern finally breaks. And that just happened. 122. For 122 days straight, the Dow held a critical line of defense. Think of it like a winning streak, just a solid run of pure optimism. But guess what? That streak is officially over, and that could mean the whole game is changing. So what was that critical line? It's called the 50-day exponential moving average, or the EMA 50. In this system, it's not just a line on a chart. It's considered the actual pulse of the market. For those 122 days, it was like a trampoline. Every time the price dipped, it would hit that line and just bounce right back up. And that's why breaking through that floor is such a big deal. I love this analogy the analyst uses. The market changed its jersey. It's so simple. The idea is that for months, the market was playing for the bulls, the optimists. Now, by crashing below that floor, it's like it just switched sides and put on a bearish jersey. And listen, this isn't just one little red flag. It's a whole series of them. We're talking 3 straight days closing below that critical EMA 50. We're seeing multiple death crosses pop up. That's a classic warning sign for traders. The technicals are basically screaming that the trend is no longer up. In fact, the source uses some really stark language, saying the charts look like post-war cemeteries. So you might be thinking this is all just about charts and squiggly lines, but it's not. This deep technical dive is actually part of a much, much bigger mission. It goes way beyond just predicting the next trade. Now, this is a huge claim. At the very core of this whole approach is the belief that this is, and I quote, the most developed analysis system that exists. It's a bold statement for sure, but it's the engine that drives the entire educational philosophy here. So how do you even begin to back up a claim like that? Well, how about with over 15,200 hours of online classes? And here's the kicker. This massive library isn't for Wall Street pros. It's designed from the ground up for people with zero financial experience. The goal is to make this high-level analysis accessible to absolutely everyone. And that's why all of this is framed as a movement. It's about financial democratization. So when you hear a call to subscribe or share, it's not just about growing a channel. It's presented as a way for you to help push that entire mission forward. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting because we're looking at a full-blown tug of war. On one side, you have all the technical signals we just talked about. But on the other, you have some incredibly powerful forces pulling in the exact opposite direction. Let's break down this conflict. In one corner, you have the charts screaming, watch out. The EMA 50 is broken, death crosses are appearing. But in the other corner, you have the heavyweight champion, NVIDIA, reporting amazing earnings and pulling the market up. At the same time, you have bad news like rising unemployment trying to drag the market down. It's a total mess. So what happens when these titans are battling it out? Well, the analyst concludes that the space to operate is shrinking. Basically, all the clear, predictable trends get squeezed out. The room gets smaller, and it's replaced by chaos, which makes it incredibly difficult to find a good trade. And this is just wild when you think about it. You can have your entire system of technical analysis flashing red, with alarms going off everywhere, and you still have to be prepared for one single company to be so powerful that it can just ignore everything and drag the whole market up all by itself. You know, after all of this, all the charts, all the indicators, all the company earnings, it all boils down to one final, really big question about the world we're living in right now. See, all around the world, there's this incredible push happening. Countries are actually writing financial education into law. And the goal is amazing. It's to help everyday people achieve financial independence so they aren't totally reliant on one job to survive. And that leads us to this. The final, really challenging question this analysis leaves us with: what does our own financial independence really mean if the whole market can be pushed around by just a tiny handful of giant companies who are, in the analyst's own words, dividing the money among themselves? It's a really powerful thought, isn't it? If this explainer helped you get a clearer picture of what's happening out there, please help us spread that clarity to others. Take a second to subscribe, share, comment, and give this a like. It truly is the best way to support the mission of making financial education available for everyone. Thanks for watching.